essential. We have to develop scientific temperament among all the students, and we should see that they come out with critical thinking and develop an attitude to learn in new ways, new techniques. They try to understand the new techniques, they try to work on it, so they try to explore on it. That is what is very, very essential. So we will be doing up with developing scientific temperament today. It would be a 1 hour session, and the resource person is none other than our science physics PGT, Mr. Chandrasekhar sir. So Chandrasekhar sir will give us the idea of how scientific temperament can be encouraged among the students, how scientific temperament can be developed among the students. So over to Chandrasekhar sir.
Once again, namaste to all. Sorry for the disturbance. On this day, I got a golden opportunity to become a resource person for a wonderful topic, developing scientific temperament. For this, I want to thanks to our principal madam for giving this opportunity. And thanks to Soumya madam, Pawan sir, Binu madam. Now, before starting of the session, I request all of you to recite Gayatri Mantra 3 times with full feeling. Bhuva swaha tatsavitur varenyam Bhargo devasya dhimahi dhiyo yo na prachodayat. Today's topic, scientific temper. It is not a chapter in science book. It is rather an attitude to develop. It is a way of life that all of us must have in our personality. If this attitude opening a new avenue to exhibit a way to show patriotism in ourselves. Patriotism is Desh Bhakti. As being the citizen of India, we should respect and follow the Constitution of India, Bharatvarsh ka Samvidhan. Now, first of all, I am going to start with you have to use the chat box that how many fundamental duties are there in our constitution. Can anyone say? How many?
6, sir. 6 fundamental
duties. No, sir.
There are not 6, sir.
Total duties. Use chat box.
11.
No.
11.
Wait, sir. 12. Japida, sir.
11.
Right. Who told
Sir, 11 fundamental duties are there.
Srinivas Das, sir.
Sir, me.
Nita Datta, madam. Baha, madam. Subhajit, sir. 11. Yes. Thanks a lot. There are 11 fundamental duties that expect all of us to follow. In the Article 51H, I am repeating, in the Article 51H of our Constitution, it mentioned to develop scientific temper, humanism, spirit of inquiry and reform. So it is mentioned in the Constitution 51H, AH. Now comes to the point, educated or literate or a man of science have more scientific temper? Say yes or no. Does being more educated or literate or a man of science have more scientific temper? Answer is no. That means if you are a student of science, it does not mean that it helps you to develop scientific temper. According to the research, education or literacy does not have much impact on scientific temper. As per an article, now I am quoting one article, or rather I am giving the gist. As per the article published by India Today way back, I am narrating a gist. You all know sorry, that about the ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. Everybody knows, I think. It has a large number of scientists and genius people related to the missile technology, space science, aeronautical engineering, etc. Before the first space vehicle launched by India, a prototype space vehicle made by the local people sent to the Tirupati temple for worship and blessings. Wonderful. I am repeating, before the first space vehicle launched, a prototype space vehicle made by the local people sent to the Tirupati temple for worship blessing. That means education and literacy have much to do. You have scientific temper inside your personality or not. Now comes to points. Everybody knows, I think so. It is on the screen. Scientific temper is the state of mind which does not accept or believe anything but the truth and think logically and rationally. That means to have a rational attitude. The term scientific temper was first of all coined by the first Prime Minister of India, that is Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, in 1946, in his book Discovery of India. That is a very famous book. According to him, scientific temper is the attitude to search for new bodies of knowledge, not to accept anything without a proof or a test. The scientific temper is the application of the scientific method in day-to-day life, which includes questioning, observing, physical reality, testing, analyzing, and communicating. Scientific temper describes an attitude which involves the application of logic, discussion, argument, analysis are the vital parts of the scientific temper. Here in the screen, you have to see the original form of that article 51AH. In fact, it is AH later on. In this particular exact form of article, it is written, it is the fundamental duty of every citizen of India to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform. Now comes to the point, why scientific temper? As you know, the Nehruji coined first of all this word scientific temper, and Nehruji has given in his book that it should be developed for number A, protection against the superstitious belief of traditional Indians. And number 2, second point he has given, it is the only with the change way of thinking that Indians the scientific method and technological is for building an industrially developed society in India. Our Prime Minister, that is Lal Bahadur Shastri, has given Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, to give the boost to the scientific temper. Our former Prime Minister Ajat Shatru Atalji also given or added two more words: Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, victory to science. The new education policy launched by Modi ji and the complete team. The key points are innovation of that particular NEP, innovation, experiential learning, competency-based learning, and learning by doing. These four key words are there in that NEP. Now, brief idea of this innovation. What is the innovation? It refers to something new, such as invention or introducing new ideas or new ways of thinking. कुछ discover करना, something new idea, new gadgets, etc. Then comes to the experiential learning. Second one, experiential learning. What is the meaning of experiential? This word, this experiential comes from the experience. Experiential learning is the process of learning through experience and is more narrowly defined as learning through reflection on doing. That means hands-on learning can be a form of experiential learning. That means a practical work. And in case of this hands-on learning means psychomotor part we are going to discuss. Hands-on learning engages the students of all ages in multiple modes of learning. That is, number A, kinesthetic. Number A, kinesthetic, that means learning by doing the physical activity or the touching. Number 2, problem solving. This all comes under the experiencing learning. Number 2, problem solving. That means the act of defining a problem, determining the cause of the problem and give it solution. That is the number 2, experiencing learning. Means you can say that it's practical works. And number C, or number 3 rather, trial and error method. It is the repeated, varied attempts which are continued until success achieved. Trial and error, कोशिश करते जाना है जब तक कि मंजिल हासिल नहीं. Then comes to the third part of this NEP, that is the competency based learning, CBL. It is the framework, third part, it is the framework for teaching and assessment of learning. It is also described as a type of education based on predetermined competencies. That is the traditional methods of assessment. By doing, it is a hands-on approach to learning, meaning students should interact with their environment in order to adapt and learn. So, 4 points of the NEP, which has a brief idea, however, different topics are there, NEP, but these 4 points are included, which is related to the. Now comes to the point, how to inculcate scientific temper. ये सब तो आगे theoretical part हो गया. That scientific temper कहाँ है, क्या है, the background. Now comes to the point, how to inculcate scientific temper. First point, create a pro-science classroom. Please see it properly. Is it visible or not?
Visible, sir.
Create visible. Create a pro-science class. Thank you. You all learner teachers, please make the classroom having feeling of science. How you are going to get the feeling of science in a particular classroom? Like the photos of great scientists, scientific activities or science activity corners. Small things like the bottle, glass, etc. to do some activities, paper, like that. So that the students are going to be attracted on that particular. Number two, develop critical thinking skills. Critical the facts to form a judgment. The ability to evaluate information to determine whether it is right or wrong. It means to be open-minded and consider alternative ways of looking at solutions. Third point, support student for doing activities and experiments. Maybe the inductive way or the direct way. In science classroom, perform some activities with common household things. Also follow the same, and lots of questions comes in the mind of the student. In science classroom, as being the teacher, you have to show some activities so that lots of questions will come in the mind of the student, and then they are going to get the answers of that. Sir, to apply what they learn. My point is that, like for example, conservation of energy. So show them that the same application in the simple pendulum. So like that, the simple pendulum, when it goes here like that, so how the energy is changing. Here the maximum potential energy and then the potential energy is converting it to the kinetic energy. So if the students are going to apply this particular concept, then it is, I think, the scientific temper is going to increase. Now, another point that the students are very much familiar of the convex lens. The lens they have already gone through in class 8. So show them the convex lens. And with the help of convex lens, they know that the rays are converging, beam are going to converge. If this convergence, they are going to apply in a different aspect, like in case of the solar cooker. If the solar cooker is there and you are keeping the lens like that over it, then the time of cooking is going to reduce. That is your achievement. You are going to be applied. Means the student is going to apply this concept of the convergence. So these are the points like that give opportunity to apply what they learn. Another point is that how to inculcate scientific temper. Another point, employ games, riddles, brain teasers, and quizzes. Quizzes, brain teasers, crosswords makes the brains of the students active constructively. That means they are going to think laterally and horizontally, vertically, in all directions. They are going to start thinking. Like for example, there are so many quizzes in which the students are going to be benefited, like the KBC, Dadagiri, and in that some googly rounds are also there. In that googly rounds, the students or the particular person, those who are watching, their thinking is going to increase. The arena of thinking is going to increase. The lateral thinking of the human being is going to increase. Whatever the students have learned, then we have to keep on that particular track. Whenever we are teaching in a class, always evaluate by asking the questions on the previous topic. कल जो पढ़े हो, उस पे relate करते हुए previous topic, so they remain on track. That is the 6th point, how you are going to apply. or inculcate the scientific temper. Seventh point, amplify their creativity by appreciation. Whenever any child make any model or giving answer to do some activities, we have to appreciate him or her by words of praise like good, bravo, intelligence, etc. It gives extra thrust on the effort provided by that particular child. And especially these words of appreciation or pat on the back insert a quanta of energy which helps them to excel in life. I'm repeating this word, very important. In case of the appreciation or amplifying, these words of appreciation insert a quanta of energy which helps them to excel in life. Now the eighth point, give information for new areas of science like astronomy, very interesting field, biotechnology, data science, artificial intelligence, microbiology, space science, coding. आजकल coding का बहुत ज़्यादा जोर है. That is also related to the science, very important. So that the students are going to get interest in that particular field. So scientific temper is going to increase. They are going to start asking, what is that coding, etc. And ninth one, introduce or organize following activities regularly. Which are the activities? Like webinar or seminar on any science related topic. Science exhibition which we are doing every year. However, despite the corona also, we have managed some scientific activity and science exhibition last year by online. And make the science club in the class, etc. Then organize some robotics session. Robotics, that's a very interesting. Like Atal Tinkering Lab is there for exhibiting their creativity. So these are the particular exhibition or the club or making the club, etc. These are the points which are very important for exhibiting their creativity, their to the student for their creativity or the good platform to the student for exhibiting their own work. Then comes to the next point is your mindfulness. Mindfulness. That's a very important point. Last point is there, mindfulness. For this mindfulness, one small clipping is there of the film Three Idiots. You have to watch. Sir, thank you. बात करते तो सिर्फ या फिर यूएसए में नौकरी सिर्फ ये सिखाया जा रहा है कि मार्क्स कैसे तुम मुझे सिखाओगे कैसे पढ़ाते हैं सर इसका मानना है कि वो हमारे हाइट वाले बच्चे थे आज प्रोफेसर रंगछोटा साझा हमें इंजीनियरिंग आपके पास 30 सेकंड है बोर्ड पे लिखे हुए शब्दों का मतलब समझाना आप चाहें तो किताब का इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं जिसे जवाब मिलेगा वो हाथ ऊपर करें देखते हैं कौन फर्स्ट आता है और कौन लास्ट इसको जवाब नहीं मिला अब अपनी लाइफ का 1 मिनट रिवाइंड करो और सोचो जब मैंने एक सवाल पूछा किसी ने ये सोचा कि आज कुछ नया सीखने को मिलेगा मजा आएगा सब रेस में लगे
Madam, the scale which measures 5 dimensions of scientific temper, 5 dimensions, like number 1, curiosity. Albert Einstein told once, what is the meaning of the curiosity? That's important. See it. Albert Einstein said, important things in life is not to stop questioning. I'm repeating, the important things in life is not to stop questioning. That means desire to know. An inquisitive interest to know. It is the quality related to the inquisitive thinking, such as exploration, investigation, learning, hence by observation in human and other animals. Curiosity is heavily associated with all the aspects of the human development, which derives the process of learning and desire to acquire knowledge and skill. Next point. Second point of the 5 dimensions of the scientific temper is the skepticism. Can anyone say what is the meaning of the skepticism? That is your, do not accept the things blindly without questioning. Aversion to the superstition or doubt about the truth of the something, some belief. This disbelief in any claims of the ultimate knowledge, an impartial attitude of the mind previous to investigation is the skepticism. Truth need to be through scientific reasons, scientific research and inquiry to be claimed true of science. Of the scientific temper is objectivity means इसका अर्थ क्या होता है? The quality or the character of being objective. It means it is a noun that emotion is or now and you have to give question is which of the following people is supposed one question which of the following people is supposed to demonstrate objectivity? Number A, plaintiff का मतलब होता है अभियोगी या मुद्दई. Number B, a judge, न्यायाधीश. C, a lawyer, वकील. Number D, defendant, अभियुक्त. आप लोग चैट बॉक्स का यूज कर सकते हैं. You can use the chat box. Which of the following people is
supposed to demonstrate objectivity. A plaintiff, a judge, a lawyer, a defendant. You can use the chat box. ऑब्जेक्टिविटी का कौन परफॉर्म, कौन किस तरह के लोग करते हैं? Which of the following people is supposed to demonstrate objectivity? A plaintiff,
अधिवक्ता,
lawyer, and defendant. Objectivity, unbiased. So definitely answer will be judge, न्यायाधीश. Judge should be the answer. महामाली का आंसर बिल्कुल सही है. That's a very correct answer. Judge. Fourth dimension. Thank you very much. Fourth dimension is the open-mindedness. That open-mindedness is the receptiveness to new ideas. Open-minded is the willingness to try new ideas or things, to hear and to consider if the information or ideas makes a नया आइडिया के लिए, नूतन विचार के लिए हमेशा दिमाग को खुला रखना होगा. Open-mindedness. Fifth dimension is your rationality. The quality or the state of being rational, that is being based on or agreeable to reason. It implies conformity of one's beliefs with one's reason to believe. That means in Hindi you can say tark sangat, being consistent, and tenability. So these 5 dimensions are there. Now comes to the scientific temper. Should have the scientific process. Next topic on the point of the scientific temper. To develop scientific temper, here are some important strategies. Number 1, sharpen your curiosity. Sharpen your curiosity. People have dead curiosity, cannot have scientific temper. Nowadays, we are more syllabus oriented, more marks oriented, but we are not curiosity oriented. Curiosity means seeking answers of the question of the thousands of events happening around us. Ask yourself, do you have in your personality to seek answers of these? If yes, that means you are having a fair amount of curiosity quotient, that is CQ. Curiosity quotient, CQ. In my opinion, CQ should be more than IQ. CQ should be more than IQ. Now, I'm asking 4 questions. You have to think and search the answer of it. Let us see. Curiosity quotient is how much? Question number 1, a general question, not a question related to the physics. We always enchant Gayatri month. Especially in case of DAV, I have observed for all occasions we are enchanting the Gayatri Mahamantra. Do you know the meaning and importance of it? Can anyone tell? Unmute your mic. The meaning of the Gayatri Mantra and the importance. Anyone? Mahamantra?
Sir, it removes all the evils and gives us a spirit of new energy to work well and to move towards positivity.
Very good, sir. Very good. Das, sir. Very good. Panda, sir?
सर्वशक्तिमान ईश्वर, आप हमारे अंदर के सारे दुर्गुणों को दूर कर हमारी बुद्धि को सन्मार्ग की ओर प्रेरित करें।
वाह सर, प्रणाम, बहुत अच्छा सर।
सर
यस
ईश्वर, आप सर्वशक्तिमान उस अपनाने योग्य तेज को हम धारण करें जो हमारी बुद्धि को सदा सन्मार्ग की ओर प्रेरित करे।
थैंक यू मैडम, बहुत अच्छा। इसका अर्थ हुआ उस प्राण स्वरूप, दुख नाशक, सुख स्वरूप, श्रेष्ठ, तेजस्वी, पाप नाशक, देव स्वरूप परमात्मा को हम अंतःकरण में धारण करें। वह परमात्मा हमारी बुद्धि को सन्मार्ग में प्रेरित करे। ये तो उसका अर्थ हुआ। You know the scientific background. Now come on to scientific background. We should remember what are the scientific background behind your Maha Mantra, that is the Gayatri Mantra. An American scientist, unfortunately not Indian, an American scientist, Dr. Howard, established that the recitation of Gayatri Mantra produces a frequency of 1,10,000 hertz. I'm repeating, 1,10,000 hertz, which gives you that too much cosmic energy. That's the highest energy in a particular mantra, Maha Mantra. That's why it is known as. And in chanting this mantra increases the blood supply to different areas of brain and can significantly impact on the spatial and verbal memory. It helps in lowering the heart rate and maintain a balance in breathing. That is the scientific background. Very important. You all should know. Another question, a general question. Why do we do parikrama in temples and why clockwise? परिक्रमा हम लोग जो मंदिर में करते हैं, क्यों करते हैं और क्लॉकवाइज ही करते हैं? Actually, majority of the people do this robotic behavior. As our ancestors told to do, then we are doing the same and following the same. No one asked why. So if we do the parikrama anti-clockwise, whether any unauspicious event occurs or heaven fall down, या स्वर्ग गिर के नीचे आ जाएगा? But unfortunately, very few people is asking, and I think
there's a reason, sir.
I don't have the answer.
Sir,
Yes, Sumitra madam.
Sir, actually, we are living in the northern hemisphere, and in the northern hemisphere, the pressure differences. Our body, one side of our body is having high pressure, and another side of the body we are having the low pressure. So while we are doing the parikrama, we are always moving in a clockwise direction, so that the pressure balance between the left side and right side can be balanced in a proper way, sir.
Oh, thank you, madam. But I
And
don't have the answer.
it is also, one more reason is also there, sir. In the northern hemisphere, the winds are moving. Planetary, we are having different types of winds. And among that,
Robotic behavior, more or less. If you are not asking the question, that means CQ is low. Curiosity quotient is low. We have to ask why we are always saying touch wood, touch wood. Robotic behavior. Another point is that if anyone is having the answer, you can share the answer in the WhatsApp group. Another question is that why do we blow off candles on birthday? जन्मदिन पर हम लोग मोमबत्तियों को अपने मुंह से फूंक मार के बुझा देते हैं. True, however, we know that putting off a burning flame is considered inauspicious in our culture. very few people ask this question. Most of the people is having the low CQ. Because we are not asking. These questions are there, which all have to be asked. These questions are for people of all ages and all areas, all fields. If the people start asking these questions, this type of question, their CQ will start increasing. Scientific temper also increasing. Another question, the next point of that particular strategies of the scientific, how to improve the strategy, your scientific temper. Next strategy is that believe only if the conclusion is statistically valid. Believe only if the conclusion is statistically valid. Now, how many people are having strong faith on astrology? You can write yes or no in the chat box. Back, renowned physicist and astronomer, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. Jayant Narlikar, आप लोग में से बहुतों को मालूम होगा, Padma Vibhushan Dr. Jayant Narlikar have done one experiment that is known as the Narlikar experiment. What he has done, he collected hundreds of horoscopes, called more than 60 renowned astrologers at Pune. He has given photographs of some hundreds of horoscopes of some people and asked 3 questions only to these 60 astrologers. सबको horoscope देने के बाद 3 क्वेश्चन पूछा गया. Number 1, whether the person is dead or alive. Number 2, whether the male or the female. Number 3, married or unmarried. Dr. Narlikar collected around 18,000 data points. Out of these data points, you will be surprised to know that the success percentage is far below 50%. I'm repeating this. You will be surprised to know success percent is far below 50%. That is recorded also, this Narlikar experiment. That means astrological prediction is statistically not valid. Then comes to the another strategy to increase your scientific temper. Oppose the public obstinacy. Public obstinacy means like stubbornness, जिद्दी type का कि हम ये चाहते हैं ऐसा ही होना चाहिए. उसका एग्जाम्पल चाहे हम हो या सरकार हो, according to the data, we are having more temples than schools and hospitals taken together. In India, we are having more temples than the school plus hospital together. This is really a contradiction. Whether this statement sounds better for a mature democracy? Certainly not. Mature democracy के लिए ये अच्छा नहीं लगता है कि स्कूल और हॉस्पिटल कम है. Number 4, fourth strategy, understand your religion by its philosophy. Instead of its rituals, most of the Hindu people said that our rituals are based on Hindu philosophy. According to a group of Hindu scholars, I am telling the Hindu philosophy also. According to the group of Hindu philosophy, there are 7 pillars of Hindu philosophy. Number 1, rebirth. Number 2, salvation, moksha. Number 3, advait, non-duality. That means creator and creation are the part of the same entity. Number 4, destiny, bhagya. Number 5, extreme tolerance, shashruta. Number 6, live life fully in 4 ashramas. And number 7, Karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachan. Main focus on the action, not on the result. These 7 pillars are there of the Hindu philosophy. I am not saying this is the final conclusion given by the group of Hindu scholars. So these are the points which you have to remember. And the conclusion is that this is not a fight between science and the religion. विज्ञान और धर्म के बीच कुछ युद्ध नहीं हो रहा. It is a fight between you and the irrationality. It is a fight between you and irrationality. Now comes to the other point. Role of parents. What should be the role of parents? Encourage child for doing some activities. Parents' mistake which become a valuable experience. Next, use good words, appreciable salutation for the child. अच्छा शब्द, good, bravo, ऐसा हमेशा प्रोत्साहित करना चाहिए. I told you, good words or the public appreciation is the quanta of energy, quanta, H nu, quanta of energy which enters to the child, which helps them to excel in the life. Let us nurture scientific attitude and scientific temper amongst ourselves. Let us accept that increasing scientific temper is a national task. A big thank you for your patience and sorry for the technical disturbance also. Thank you very much.